Hi, my name is Evan Hoffman. I'll be helping you guys learn some cultural aspects of Denmark today. So without further ado, let's get started. Here a quick brief interview, just some of the main points I'll be talking about. I'll begin with the political atmosphere and infrastructure to help give you guys a background on what we may be talking about. Then I will dive into some of Hofstede's dimensions, the first being the uncertainty avoidance, and then I will go into the individualism and collectivism. So first beginning the political progression and current infrastructure, I began from World War I. It shows just some of the characteristics that you'll see a little bit later, and I'll kind of tie that in here in a second. So World War I, they remain neutral, the main reason being that they wanted to keep their own interests to themselves. They don't want to meddle in anyone's affairs, keep their foreign policy pretty lax. So they signed a no aggression pact with Nazi Germany, and the gap between the two world wars there. Unfortunately, in World War II, they were blindsided and invaded by Nazi Germany, and without military resistance coming at the country. So collectively, as a group, they were not very tight, but as you can see underneath my bullet point, they were individually very much Danish Jew in that area, and as you can see historically, they are noted to escape to neighboring Nazi-free Sweden, pulling together direct families and different ethnic groups there. Fast forward to today, Denmark is a robust democracy with regular, free, and fair elections. Pulling from that freedomhouse.org 2017, a very recent metric. Solid infrastructure they do really have, they socially and economically. They were, as a matter of fact, in 2017 of May, the first country globally to declare transsexuality no longer a mental health disorder. So they are very progressive in that matter. Now, economically, they were the 19th most complex economy according to the Economic Complexity Index, the ECI. This is a very important metric as well, as this is a rather small country in size, but it does pull its weight economically. That last little part there, the migrant crisis, they did have a problem there. They have struggled to uphold all the fundamental freedoms for immigrants and other newcomers who wish to migrate in. The due process limitations for asylum seekers and immigrants were very, very much withheld. So that's one of the only drawbacks to this advanced country here. The immigrants just have a tough time getting in, and when they do, there's just a lot of process involved there. Moving on to the uncertainty avoidance. First, defining the term, it kind of refers to a society's discomfort with uncertainty, preferring predictability and stability. As you can see here, Denmark scores low with a 23 on the index, meaning that they prefer the low structure level, the little beliefs or institutions, to avoid this uncertainty. And kind of what that means is that they enjoy the free flow thinking. They are high innovators in their market, and as a matter of fact, they are world leaders in innovation design. They also lead with advertising and marketing with a lot of the places. If you were to work with them, you would not, or manage them, you would not want to impose much structure in their lives, or let them find their own problems, because when they do, they will come to you and ask for more advice. They seek out the truth very easily. Lastly, individualism and collectivism. Denmark, they score very high with a 74 in individualism, so thus inferring the ability to take care of oneself is very high, rather than the dependence of relying on a group, as the collectivism point of view will be. So the Danes do prefer a looser social framework. Their implication, if you were to manage them or become business partners with them, it's relatively easy to begin businesses. There's no need to create relationships, so it's best to keep the small talk at a minimum and be very direct with them. That's some of the just bigger viewpoints there. And you could, draw back to some of the slides beforehand, the individualistic thought process, the ideology, kind of draws back to the initial foreign policy held from World War I and World War II, just inverting back to protecting their own and trying to stay out of trouble. Well, that's the end of my presentation. I appreciate you guys listening. Thank you, and I await your questions.